was walking and talking as usual, and then saw that I lost connection. So I sat down and um, figured it out. So hopefully, just using my cellular data is going to work. I hope everybody comes back. Skull, where are you? Uh, and I think, hopefully, when I'm done, I will mesh this video with the other one and just put out one video. But I hopefully told the Nora Jackson case about Coburger. If that got cut off, I will add it when I'm back at my house. And then I'm assuming probably part that got cut off is um, talking about the street here. I was talking about the history of the street, so I'm going to show you some of that, and I'll talk about that again. And I was talking about with the Brian Koberger case that I was reading the document. So I did an episode. I did a video yesterday where I read the 5 narratives. Sorry if I'm. Did you hear me talk about the part that with the footprints in the snow, or did that get cut off? Anyways, when I was reading, I made one video with the 5 narratives because I thought it was interesting to read the reports from all 5 different officers who responded to the scene and what they had to say. This is our new hotel. Right here, and I always laugh because it's right next to the Goodwill or the Salvation. What is this? Goodwill. Oh, the dog barking. Okay. Hi, Jeff. Okay, so I made my video yesterday reading the first 5 Moscow Police Department narratives of first responders, and the one thing that I thought was interesting from that was the guy that was at the back of the house by the sliding door. He said that the footprints went towards the slider and away from the slider, but then wrapped around a tree trunk towards the front of the house. And Jeff, maybe you can help me out with this, whoever else is in here. I always thought, in my head, I pictured the person leaving through the sliding doors and going straight back off the patio toward, like, through that little wooded area. And isn't that where, like, that side area is where you could park? That's what I always pictured in my head. So I just thought it was interesting that they're saying, no, they went more towards the front. I was going to go up this way. Look at look at how steep the hills are. I don't know if you can see. I came up from there. So these roads are real fun in the wintertime. And I was laughing because we built this really nice hotel next to the Goodwill. But there's all the boats docked on the river, and you're right next to that really cute downtown area. So I was going to walk up here because I was saying this little road, the one that I was walking on before I lost my live, has changed decade over decade over decade. It's just revitalized itself to go along with the times and, you know, what's happening in our society. And back in the 50s and 60s, all the men that lived in all the neighborhoods all over this area of town close to the water, we had a huge Swedish population, huge Italian population, and they would all walk out their doors in the morning with their little metal lunch buckets and walk down to the docks, and they all were dock workers, so they'd all get down there to unload the ships. The ships would pull up with steel, coal, salt, you know, all the goods, and the trains would pull right up to the ships. They'd load the trains would go right out, and it was a straight shot down to Youngstown. And so during that time, this whole harbor area was a little shady because you had all the sailors, the ones who didn't live here, the ones that are coming from other places, getting off the ships and, partying it up down here. And I was laughing because we still have a building that was a bathhouse. And it is back over, like that's why I was trying to walk up here, because if I could go down that side street, it's right over there, but I'm huffing and puffing, so I'm not doing that right now. Okay, Jeff, we built this city. We built this city. So back to those shoe prints and Brian Koberger. He also said he measured them and they were 13 and a half and 14 inches. And I know, because we're a snowy area up here, we get a lot of snow in the wintertime. When you take a step in the snow, um, it kind of like leaves like a drag mark, if you're not stepping perfectly. So that measurement might not be completely accurate. Um, there's that. And then I looked up, okay, so if the shoe print measured 13 and a half, 14 inches, what size, if that's the imprint in the snow, does that exactly match the shoe size? And, Google said yes, so I don't know scientifically how accurate that is, but. You got tricked into going to That's funny. That's funny. And I don't know why the Swedish community, I think it's Sweden, yeah, Scandinavian countries, um, a lot of the houses down here, because Carlos and I looked at a lot of houses before we bought the one we're in, they all have steam rooms in their house, which is kind of cool. We didn't buy one that had that, but if you're down in this area, a lot of the houses, if they're still in their original format, they have those because that's like their culture. So I guess the bathhouse could be for that, but Windy City Unity, hello. Thanks for being here. Oh no. Oh, we're not going to talk like that in here. Here I was being nice and welcoming you and okay. So I'll show you what the view I was talking about. So here's the street view. So it's a super short area. All these buildings are original. So they are probably from the 1800s, all brick. And it's really cool because a lot of the restaurants, they show the brick on the inside too. And there's like, you know, holes and, just the original architecture is really, really cool. So the footprint, I was looking at that, like, the size. I do think they said Brian Koberger wore a size 13, so can't rule them out, like Carlos would say, can't rule them out. So I'm going to look at it through that lens. Can't rule them out. So that's one thing. I'm starting notes. I've never taken notes through this whole case. I've just listened to everything and watch everything, and it's been a crazy long time because last night on one of the channels they were showing WSU mom Kim's original interview on Chronicles of Olivia. And I'm like, I remember watching that live, like when it first came out. So I've seen and heard and read and watched like a lot of stuff. But I just always keep it up here. So sometimes, I don't always keep it straight. But I'm going to start now. Now with the documents, I really want to start um, jotting down the information and evidence and looking at it through that lens. Does it rule Brian out? Does it rule Brian in? So I was still searching information about the shoe, and there was a vetted research site, but I looked at it. Um, hey, if you're going to be in here, hit the thumbs up for me. You might as well like and subscribe if you're going to be in here writing crazy stuff. Thank you. Jennifer Tilly. I don't know Jennifer Tilly. Who's that? Does WSU Kim sound similar to Jennifer Tilly? Is that the Jen, the creator? Jen? Gigi or whatever? Is that who you're talking about? Oh, with an alias. I've never heard that other person, so I don't know. I'd have to listen. I would have to listen. I do know WSU Mom Kim showed herself on one of the very first shows that came out. Like a Dateline or one of those. So she's a real person. So if you haven't seen that Jen person, I don't know. So, anyways, they showed a photo of that Vans shoe print that was supposedly outside the door. But again, it was on Reddit, and I didn't look at the date, so I don't know how long ago that photo was posted. So I want to go to the photos, and I don't know. Do you know if that's been released yet? Has the photo of the shoe print? I mean, they did release all those photos of inside the house, so I'm gonna go look for that because the photo on Reddit does not have the pattern of a Vans shoe. It looks like a boot. It's not all diamonds. It's got lines like around the toe, the front part of your foot, all the way around it, going this way. It's got lines, and then even in the middle, it didn't even really look like a diamond pattern. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if it was the real photo, but the one that I saw on Reddit looked like a boot. And then I went and I started looking at sole patterns of Vans to see, because even those aren't all the same. It depends on which type, right? It depends on which type. It is weird that she was barefoot. Like, why couldn't you put your shoes on? But, I mean, if she ran down to Bethany's room and was barefoot and then they don't wear the same size shoe, if Bethany wore a larger size shoe, Dylan could have slipped them on. But Bethany's smaller than Dylan, so she's probably going to wear a smaller size shoe, and you're not squeezing your foot into a smaller size shoe. So I'm not going to read too much into that. She said she heard everything. Hey, Jeff, I don't know if you were in here earlier, but I started this off saying, as I'm reading the documents, and from now on, when Carlos and I have discussions, I am going to try to use the lens like Carlos always says. Does it point towards? If I can, I think if I can use that top and concerned about things in this case because things can be weird but still point to Brian, I guess, or not point away from him. If that van print is a 13, the prints outside are 13 and a half, 14. That doesn't point away from Brian. I get frustrated using that kind of thinking though because is he fishing? Somebody fishing down here. I want hard evidence. Here, I'll get. Oh, so there's geese in the water, and there's a guy fishing right there. I don't know if you can see my hand. I can't see because the sun's right in my face. It's very cute down here. If you're in Ohio, it's a cute place to come for a day trip. On one of my next videos, I'm going to drive out to Geneva on the Lake. I want to do that one time before the weather gets bad. We also have the longest covered bridge in the United States. So we have one of a handful, I think there's only three, I want to say three, lift bridges in the country. Most of them turn. And we have the longest covered bridge, so I'm going to take you out there and show you that on one of my walks. Bunch of grasshoppers down here. I'm walking by people, so I'm not going to talk right now. Hi. Oh, I got to go up these steps. This is not going to be fun. Do it with me, everybody. Here we go. This gives me a workout. You can watch the steps behind me. Hi. I'm hoping that my Noura Jackson case part of my video didn't get cut off. If it did, I'm going to record it and add it in when I get home. I understand why I lost connection because, I mean, my cellular data should just pick up and work. But I'm not a cell phone expert. Is Miss Potts in here? I can't see. I also want to get my hands on those research reports and read them. That would be interesting to me. What was he writing about? And I'm curious to know if it was he just doing this on research on his own? Or was this an assignment? Because you really can't make much out of the topics if it was an assignment, right? You didn't choose it if it was an assignment. But I think by the time you get to the graduate, postgraduate level of college, they're not really giving you topics, they're giving you tasks, projects, And you can usually pick what you want as long as you complete the criteria for what the project is. So I'm just going to show this area again. That's the Coast Guard Museum. This little street right at the end, not the end, but if you go down here and turn right, there's a big arch sign that says Walnut Beach over here. And you go down a big hill to the lake. And I showed the lake on one of my other walk and talks. And down this street over here, you have to go through a little intersection. There is a house we call the Hubbard House because that's the name of the family that owned it. And it was an underground railroad. It was like the last house, right? It's right, the lake is right there. So if you could make it to that house, they had really good hiding spots and like a tunnel out the back, and you could get on a boat and make it over to Canada. So that's really cool. Oh, this is not the bed and breakfast. I said this is just somebody's house. I was saying this was the bed and breakfast. The bed and breakfast is over here. Los Feliz. Where are you at, Skull? I know you probably told me before. I'm still wearing this brace, and I went to an orthopedic doctor, and I don't know what he did with the way he wrote up that I needed an MRI for my insurance, but they denied it and said I need to do physical therapy. I'm like, physical therapy for what? I don't know what's wrong with my hand yet. Like, how can an insurance company dictate what you need? Oh, I need to do therapy. For what? I don't know what's wrong with it yet. I'm so frustrated. Oh my God. So I'm kind of in a pickle with that right now. I'm just on hold because, I retired, so I don't have that same insurance anymore. So dealing with all that. So I am just like going to be another victim of American health insurance. Yay. I don't think it's carpal tunnel because I actually injured it. Like I fell and hyperextended my thumb. That's one thing I did. And then I whacked my wrist exactly where it hurts on a corner of a metal filing cabinet. So between those two things, I really think it's a tendon because they did an x-ray and they said the bones weren't broke. So, but I also was, researching it, and you have like 8 tiny bones in your wrist. So did they really see all of those on the x-ray? I don't know. I got a little sassy with the receptionist because they called me. They called me today and they were like, oh, it was denied. Like, what do I want to do? And I'm like, well, why didn't you write it better? Like, what did the doctor write? I'm an advocate. I go hard. When I had to go through, when my son had leukemia and we were going through all that, man, I learned how to be an advocate for yourself and for the ones you live. You hit glass and you sprained. Hi, love Tina. I'm so glad you're here. To Utica. Yeah, I've heard of that. There's a tunnel from there all the way here. That's so amazing. It's so funny because when you live in a town that has, these little like historical places like this, like I've never been in the Hubbard House. I've never been in this marine museum. we did try to take a field trip with, we used to take our students down here and walk around, and we would go into like four different businesses that are down here. Like I think the museum was one of them. We went into like an ice cream shop to learn like the business economic part of it, and we were supposed to go to the Hubbard House. And it's because it's I'm sure it's run by volunteers, and it's really hard to schedule and to know when they're open. But they didn't. I don't even know if they opened the day that we were supposed to go. So it would be pretty cool if I could record from inside there. I am thinking, because I'm home now every day. Oh, I do have my doctor's appointment tomorrow, but that is late morning. So I think when I get home from that doctor's appointment tomorrow, I am going to do my first daytime live. Like, why not? I want to start doing lives. I'm very, I don't know, I get hesitant about it. But I want to see all my friends. I like chatting with everybody and watching and reading stuff together. So I'm going to start doing that. Thanks, Skull. Yeah, I'm just going to jump in, it's funny because in education, um, we have all these like nicknames for things and stuff like that. And they would call different kinds of teachers a speedboat, a tugboat, a sailboat. And I was always a speedboat. Like, learn something, implement it right away. Like, go, 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 do. So I'm like, I'll just jump in, I don't want to. If you wait for things to be perfect, you'll be waiting a long time, right? Right? Don't think about it, just do it. Although, Skull, I'm going to try to remember my live. Didn't you say you didn't remember yours? That's funny. That's funny. Today I'm going to record another video reading some more docs, and I'm I'm making note of different things, like those footprints going around the trunk, like the tree trunk, right? Like so towards the front of the house. So I want to find the picture that matches that and keep matching up different pieces of information with that. Like how is it described in all these different reports? The next reports I'm going to be reading are still from November 13th at the scene, but now it's going to be people who arrive later. So I'm going to group those together. You would delete a live and it would make 7 new lives. Oh, that's funny. I know. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with the first live I started this morning before I lost connection because I X'd out of it. So it said, "Do you want to end this?" And I said, "Yeah." So I'm hoping it should be recorded, right? I just ended it, and then I started a new one. So, we just figure it out as we go. Figure it out. I'm glad I came down here today. It's starting to get like the highs now are only in the 70s. So my lovely summer is coming to an end. I'm hoping for like that 1 week of September where it's like back up in the high 80s. I don't know if it's going to happen. And then I keep seeing all these weather channels saying that we're going to have a crazy winter. Like if you're in the south of the United States, like I think you guys are going to get snow. Like it's supposed to be crazy. Oh, you do it all from your phone. I'm doing this from my phone, but I have a computer at my house, and it's my old desktop, and Carlos got me a laptop to podcast from, so I was going to get rid of the desktop, and I had it set aside for like probably a year and a half. And I want to start doing a teaching channel, so I don't want to overload my one laptop with like all these videos for 2 different shows. So I pulled the old desktop back out, and I was like, thank God I did, because all my teaching files were on there. And I need them for my videos. I was like, oh my God. So I ended up buying an external hard drive that had like 2 terabytes on it, and you plug it in as a USB. It's called a Seagate. That's the brand I got. Super easy. It was like plug in, drop in your files, done. It was so easy. So now I'm clearing everything off my desk, my old desktop. So now I can use that. Um, you sound like my sister. Yeah, the different streaming services are easier to use if you have a regular computer or a laptop for sure. Oh, I have everything I have made for teaching, I've saved. Like I have all the documents, PowerPoints, videos. I have videos of myself teaching. Those will be on my teaching channel though. Um, yeah. You guys would probably die laughing though if you saw some of those because I'm one of those teachers that like dress up like every Cinco de Mayo. I've got my Mexican hat on and my little poncho and sing crazy things to the kids and all that kind of stuff. Whenever I buy, have you seriously used those before, Jeff? A second one that acts as a clone of the first one. Why? Why a clone of it though? Oh, just so like you're afraid if it got deleted or something? 50 or 60, wow. Oh, yeah. Am I back? I'm not back. I am back. My sister called. Could you guys hear my ringtone? My ringtone? It was Bob Marley. All right. Well, I have not talked to my sister in a long time, and we are at like over an hour between my 2 videos. So I love seeing everybody. You need that thing you pull in and put it all on there. What are we talking about? I know we're talking about like hard drives and stuff. Carbon copy cloner. Okay, I will check that out, Jeff. Thanks. I do have a lot of my important stuff. I have, you know, on flash drives and now on the hard drive and in my Google Drive. So I try to save things in many different places. I was so mad because um, yesterday I had to officially go in and like turn in all my keys and badges and stuff like that to retire. And before we even started the meeting, I'm like, hey, before we start, can you not delete my email, my school email today? Because I still want to download. I need access to my Google Drive. I still want to. And she's like, oh, yeah, no worries. We do them in batches. You'll have at least till the end of the week. I woke up this morning, deleted. So mad. So mad. So I'm going to see if that can get fixed. If not, I I know that I have most everything that I need. I just wanted to do a thorough check. Apparently, apparently they shouldn't have, but that's uh that's what you get when you're like a loudmouth and a I don't know. I don't know. I'm forgetting what it's called, but it used to be called Neo Finder. I'm gonna screenshot this. Neo Finder. Okay. I can use those kinds of programs. I could not create that type of thing. That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, guys, be looking for another video from me later tonight, and for me to be coming on live tomorrow, probably around noon Eastern time. I'm going to guess. So, and Jeff, if I keep looking for 12 gauge, like I feel I have not caught a live of his in forever. I feel so bad. But I always check and I'm always like replaying everything. I gotta get over there and leave some comments and stuff, but go see when he's got his next upcoming live. It's 12 gauge. If you haven't checked him out, Skull, go check him out. He has been very kind to me as a creator. Yeah, yeah. I'm one of those people, even on my phone, you know how you have to like swipe up to delete all your pages that you've been on? Like my daughter yells at me. It's 12, 1, 2, the number 12, gauge. That'd be a great video, Jeff. You should do that. Yep. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. And I'm sure I will see you around in other chats. See you later. Bye.